We're at 4411 Gamma in Cleveland, Ohio. We have a beautiful two-story colonial, fully renovated. When I say renovate, this is a complete transformation top to bottom. This house was an eyesore for the neighborhood. We have had nonstop compliments from the community, from the neighborhood, except that guy who wants us to remove another tree. It's like a buffet line for exterior repairs, evidently. Aside from that, as you guys can see, beautiful renovations. We're in the midst of doing some landscaping, finished up the vinyl siding, custom vinyl siding. I mean, we even wrapped the banister, the porch railings, we wrapped the soffits, the casing, new doors, new windows, replaced the porch roof. You guys are gonna see the backyard. Still a little bit of work in progress, but I think you guys will get a pretty good idea of all the immense amount of upgrades we completed. We're on the market for rent as of today. I anticipate getting a tenant here pretty soon. And this is going to be the ideal turnkey opportunity for an investor looking for absolutely no maintenance. Let's go take a look. This house was vacant for 10 years. Dilapidated, distressed, falling apart. So bad that the city actually tried buying it. We stepped in, completely remodeled it. We're gonna show you guys one of the biggest rehabs we've done to date. Let's take a look. Anything you can think of in terms of renovations was completed here. Full rewire, brand new vinyl siding, roof, windows, HVAC, plumbing. I mean, we even tore down and rebuilt a beautiful 2.5 car garage. This house underwent a complete transformation and is the perfect turnkey opportunity for an investor looking for a low-risk portfolio builder. 3-bedroom, 2 bathrooms, and a great deal of space. Not to mention, a lot of nice finishes. I look at these renovations and I see these kitchens with 1 row of cabinets, 2 uppers, 1 sink base, and a drawer. I don't know how that's conducive for any family. I don't know how that's conducive for any tenant if I had 1 drawer and 2 cabinets. We made sure that if we were gonna take on this house, we were going to rearrange the floor plan a little bit, rearrange the kitchen a little bit, make this more attractive, make this a little bit more suitable for living in 2024. So we actually closed off that wall there, which was access to the first floor bedroom. We closed off that wall, which allowed us the opportunity to wrap cabinets all the way around and actually have a good deal of cabinet space and counter space. So as you guys can see, brand new white shaker cabinets. We just installed the stainless steel appliances, granite countertops, LVP flooring, but more importantly, the space, the size, it's actually conducive for somebody living here. You can actually cook something on it or have storage in your cabinets. It's crazy, it's a crazy thought. If we're gonna do this, we're gonna make sure it's attractive. If we're gonna do this, we're gonna make sure we're actually appealing to tenants and homeowners. We wanna have some value, we wanna actually add some value. So we came through here and we said, closed off the bedroom. We wanted to make a bigger kitchen. We just opened up from here. It gave us an opportunity to have a little bit more of a private bedroom instead of having the master bedroom off of the kitchen, which also is kind of awkward. Older homes like this, you're gonna see some quirkiness. Our position is, let's try to adjust some of those things. Let's try to make this, again, a little bit more practical for 2024. And we felt like expanding the kitchen, making it a little bit bigger, a little bit more attractive, and then kind of separating the bedroom gives us that opportunity. It also allowed us to squeeze in a full bathroom ensuite, and as you can see here, fully updated. Not a single room in this house was untouched. So tile surround, custom fixtures. We even squeezed in some additional storage with some nice corner cabinets, faucets, low flow toilets. So we can't forget about all the basic essentials that we try to take care of in all of our turnkey flips. Brand new vinyl windows throughout, updated fixtures, nice flooring throughout. This is actually the only room that we left the original flooring, and the hardwoods were in great shape. And if you guys know from some of my previous projects, I'm always gonna opt for the original hardwoods. But we went through, we did a full refinish, sand, polyurethane, stain, and I think they look better than any vinyl plank flooring you can come up with. So top to bottom, inside and out, we were really able to touch on a lot of the cosmetics. Obviously neutral paint colors. So one of the most interesting things with this house was we didn't know whether to make this a duplex or a single family. And that may seem strange, but we're pretty sure that previously, many years ago, they had this transition as a duplex. When we got in here though, I mean, from a zoning issue, from a utility situation, it was gonna be very difficult to kind of restructure this back into a duplex. So we had to figure out what to do with this space that was a little unique. One of the first things was this tiny room at the top of the steps. So I have 2 floors of living and a relatively sizable space. 1 bathroom isn't gonna suffice. So came in here, we ran plumbing up and rearranged some things, and we're able to squeeze out a full bathroom with standing shower, and obviously custom finishes, and we maximize the space in here. But for I don't even want to call it a makeshift bathroom, but for a makeshift bathroom, this turned out pretty darn nice. Originally, we had just a large open space in the middle here, and it was just kind of impractical. Didn't really know what to do with the space. There's a couple windows. We thought about framing out a 3rd room, but now access through a hallway didn't really make sense. We also said, somebody that's got their bedroom up here, do they really want to walk down 2 flights of stairs all the way to the basement to get to the laundry? And more importantly, something I've noticed in these older homes, basements, they're not the most appealing. So rather than have people go up and down 2 flights of stairs and into a dark, kind of dusty basement, I said, let's just move the laundry out of there. So we actually framed this out, brought plumbing up, and ran a 2nd floor laundry. Again, you don't really see that unless you're seeing newer homes. And we said, you know what, let's take this open space that's not really used for anything, and let's add a nice amenity. Added some cabinets, obviously vented out, and really it's a perfect final touch for this empty space. Obviously, we got our 2 bedrooms. So this is probably the smallest of the 3 bedrooms, but pretty good size. Huge closet, which is unusual for older homes, but for some reason this closet runs all the way along that wall. New carpet, new fixtures, new paint, and we were able to keep these rustic double doors. I mean, that hardware is really cool too. Kept that, preserved that. And it was a nice little touch there. So we figured just, a little bit of extra space here, maybe a little computer room, office. It's nice, you get to a little bit of extra lighting, and it's separate between the 2 bedrooms. And then you get to walk into the largest of the bedrooms, master bedroom, 2nd floor master bedroom, whatever you want to classify it. Everything nowadays needs a label. We framed out these closets in here because, again, there was a lot of rooms in this house that were just kind of abnormally large with no real substance to them. So we framed this out, put double doors, and created his and her closets, which again, in some of these older homes is rather unusual. And it's nice because we still kind of separated this room, gives you an opportunity to still maybe add a vanity, maybe a dresser along this wall, while still preserving a fairly sizable bedroom. All along the house, and I think this was something that we needed that was one of the first things that we decided has to be done. All along the house, in almost every room, there was 1 outlet. This room here, this entire room, including this closet room that we created, 1 outlet. And I'm sure it was 2-prong or, ungrounded. The panel was 60 amp. It was just outdated, antiquated electrical. So we did a complete rewire. It was actually probably one of the most expensive things, one of the most expensive components of the rehab. So new panel, 100 amp panel, meter base, service, and then all the way around rewire, including installing a lot of recessed lighting throughout the kitchen, hallways, LED lights, so you're never really gonna have to touch those again. So rest assured, you're talking about an electrical system that's updated to today's standards. We're in one of my favorite places in the house, the basement. Dark, dungeon, dusty, but has all of the major components and all the important stuff underneath the hood. And as you guys can see, pretty clean, but more importantly, pretty updated. And these are the updates that I think matter more than your granite countertops and new cabinets. So we talked about the electrical system, and this bad boy is brand new with all of the wiring, complete electrical system upgrade. You can even see this beautiful grounding wire that's running into the panel here. Glass block windows, installed those with proper venting all the way through. Updated plumbing throughout. All new drain lines. So PVC running all the way down with proper clean outs, kitchen drain. What's interesting, this is one of the only drains we left, and the reason is because it's the original copper. which is very hard to find. So if anybody's looking to scrap, please do not give them the address here. It's always interesting when we see the original copper. I like to leave it in the houses. It's still a very adequate source of plumbing. It doesn't corrode like old galvanized pipes. But that was one of the only drain lines we actually left. Aside from that, more drain lines. This is actually, I believe, the second floor laundry that we installed. So all the way through, both bathrooms, kitchen, and laundry room. Got brand new hot water tank, new fittings, new lines, new valves, missing a drip tube. Before your inspector freaks out that this house is falling apart, we are gonna get a drip tube installed. Mike, my drip tube's missing. Need to walk away. Brand new furnace. We got to get the filter replaced. It's interesting, when we replace a furnace and they start doing work, sometimes the filter gets dusty. And I always get that question, Mike, why is the filter dirty? The hot furnace just got replaced. Well, it's being used, right? That happens. You should replace your filter every month. I mean, every couple months. I do mine every month, but I'm going to show you guys a DIY project for everybody that sees on the inspection reports a dirty furnace filter and they panic. Mike, I need a huge credit. Guys, watch this, it's magic. Then you take this, you walk it upstairs and you put it in the trash, and then you slide a new filter in. And they actually cut out the hole there, the section for you to just to slide it right through. We're learning something new every day. New valves, we got a new condenser line, coil for the AC. I mean, we had to rebuild the plenum. There was an old gravity furnace, so it wasn't actually even, we couldn't just swap out furnaces. So we kind of had to rebuild the plenum. And as you can see, even the ductwork's replaced all the way through, upgraded. Even the valves on the main water meter, new copper fittings on the water meter. This was left behind. Odds are this is a electrical line for the 220 line for an old dryer. Makes sense. Usually you'll see these near the electrical panels. It's my favorite oversight, just a quick miss by the contractor. They should have cut this off. They should have sealed up the hole, which we still will. Again, the house is not falling apart. Like, things like this do happen in a house that's 100 years old. But it's interesting, you know, you see little things like this and weird complexities like this where they drilled a electrical line through a wall, through a cinder block wall. But we'll get this fixed up, we'll get this removed, adjusted, cleaned out. We're in the back of the house, obviously. A little bit of a mess, we're still a work in progress. It's interesting, you know, part of the transformation of this house was getting rid of some eyesores. It had this weird kind of 3 seasons room, almost similar to that, but his is much better shape. Obviously, he's taking care of it. So we kind of ripped it out, opened it up, and built out new steps and back porch, just to give a little bit better, low maintenance access to the house. Obviously, new door, new storm door, and all that jazz. But I think one of the biggest parts of the rehab, other than the electrical and HVAC, was this monstrosity of a yard. So again, we're still in progress here, but we had to bring a bobcat out here, remove a few trees. We still have a couple stumps there, as you can see, especially there in the back. Leveled it out. And now we got to till it, add some seed, add some straw. I'm gonna try to get this grass growing again. It's interesting, you get through a huge renovation and you don't realize the outside is actually in worse shape than the inside. Other than hiring a full-on arborist, I think our landscapers and our excavators did a pretty darn good job. I think it's going to look a lot better for a house that belongs in this community. So one of the questions I always get is, Mike, do I need a garage? Mike, the garage is in bad shape, should I rebuild it? Mike, there's no garage here, should we have one? And it really depends on where your house is. If you're in a more urban setting, an area that's a little bit more trendy, it's typical that you might not see garages in place. But if I'm in a suburban type community, if I'm in a family type community, owner occupants, I think it's necessary that you have covered parking. Not having a garage, I think, has a little bit of a stigma. So we had a situation here where the garage was completely dilapidated. And rather than spend $3, $4, $5, and in the case of this garage, I think it was like $6,000 to $7,000 putting lipstick on a pig, okay? Replacing a little bit of wood, painting the exterior of it. I couldn't remember what else. Rather than throwing money away like that, we demoed it and just rebuilt a brand new custom 2.5 car garage. It's very likely we're going to end up with a family that lives here, which is great. Those families probably have cars. They're gonna need somewhere to park those cars. So we wanted to make sure that we had something in good shape and conducive for this style house in this style community. $20,000 to $25,000 upgrade, probably, other than the electrical, the biggest ticket item that we did with this renovation. So let's talk numbers. We're going on the rental market today at $1,500 a month in rent. Tenant's gonna pay all utilities. We're probably looking at a range between $1,450 and $1,500. And if you guys know anything, we're usually pretty conservative with our rental comps. $160,000 is gonna be the sales price. We're looking at around a 10% return. And as I mentioned, everything updated here. So with tenant paying all utilities, you're not looking at a lot of you're not looking at high operating expenses here. You're not looking at high variable expenses here. At $160,000 to our investors, this is going to give you some good value, okay? If we end up going to the MLS and selling this as a retail owner-occupant type opportunity, we're gonna be on the market at 170. You're looking at capturing some potential instant equity here as an exclusive investor in our network. Thanks for tagging along on this remodel. This was a 9-10 month project, and I'm just thankful we're out of here. If you're looking to start a portfolio, looking to grow your portfolio, don't hesitate to reach out. We have helped thousands of investors for over a decade. Email, message, text. I'm available for free consultations for new investors. Look forward to working together.